Take control of your mind the way you do your breathing. In through your nose and out through your mouth. Legs crossed, back straight, eyes closed. Feeling the power of you controlling your own breathing. The same way you control your mind. One breath at a time, one thought at a time. Good air and thoughts in, bad air and bad thoughts out. Now, let's see our vision today. Let's see ourselves doing the best we can on all the exercises and stretches we do here together today, right now. Go into the future right now. See in your mind's eye. See yourself doing the best you can on whatever exercise we do together. See it so clearly that it feels real. When that music shuts off, if you've already seen it in your mind and you believe that you can make it happen, you're gonna make it real. You're gonna win.
Magic System, Red One, Shaoki. Comme d'habitude on est calé, comme toujours ça va aller. On te met l'ambiance à gogo, tous ensemble on fait le show.
On t'invite à la magie, y a pas de raccourci. Oublie tes soucis, et viens faire la folie.
On t'invite à la magie, y a pas de raccourci. Oublie tes soucis. Oh, 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 oh. C'est pas seulement pour les bobos, nous on vient dans nos mambo. Mon ami, si tu as le niveau, rejoins-nous pour t'enjailler.
On t'invite à la magie, y a pas de raccourci. Oublie tes soucis, et viens faire la folie.
On t'invite à la magie, y a pas de raccourci. Oublie tes soucis. Oh, 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 oh. Ah ouais, Magic System.
Toujours nous.
Ah, ça change pas.
Ah ouais.
Ah, Shaoki avec Red One. Est-ce que ça marche?
Ça va pas.
On vient du game.
is Danny Ceballos, who for me has been the pick of the round for players in the first half.
He's done a lot of good things. He's been involved a lot. Good run from Valverde here.
Very encouraging run from Valverde. Valverde goes solo! Sensationally solo! Couldn't unlock Kern Schmitz.
Guys, today Wayne Dyer reminds us to not die with our music still in us. And this goes back to our purpose, finding out what it is that we really love doing and the thing that makes us truly happy. So what is it for you? Is it writing a book? Is it pursuing a talent? Is it doing something that you've always wanted to do, but you've always been afraid to do? Is it simply being the best mother, father, sister, brother, human being you can be? Whatever it is, you can do it. You have to believe it, and you have to understand that you have music inside you. You have something that is unique to you. You were put on this planet for a unique purpose. I finally realized I want to write my book. I want to share my life with people, and it has changed everything. So I challenge you to find what's that music within you. Have a great morning, everyone.
Fulfillment, it has been a thing that I have been on a pursuit for in a way that has introduced so much change, so much challenge, so much growth because of those challenges in this last 5 years of time. But it's a thing that I think we have to understand is likely going to come when we cultivate some of the courage to be willing to get to know ourselves well enough to take steps toward what we need to be fulfilled and answer some of the unanswered questions of why we don't currently feel as connected to that fulfillment in the first place in real time. If you are not as familiar necessarily with my story, I'll just give you one quick story. I had this opportunity to work at the Walt Disney Company for 17 years. The last 7 of those years, I was the head of sales at the studio where I had just one of the best jobs in the entire world. I put the movies from Pixar and Lucas and Disney and Marvel into movie theaters. It was fantastic until it got to a place where it didn't feel the way I'd hoped it might when it came to fulfillment. There was something in the learning curve of those first 3 years of my 7 years as head of sales where always being in a perpetual state of growth had me feeling something that was more connected to fulfillment. That after that learning curve was beat back a little bit, relationships were established, the leverage that came from Pixar, Disney, Lucas, and Marvel, allowing some of the things that a head of sales has to do to be done more easily, I found myself not having to study, but still getting straight A grades on tests. And thus was the beginning of a conversation about where I was going wrong in my pursuit to be fulfilled. I had been sold, like I think many of us have been sold, a bill of goods and how we might be fulfilled when we get a certain title, when we get a certain salary, when we do something at some point at a certain way that makes other people see us or affirm some significance in us or herald us as being good, or the right kind of man, the good kind of girl, whatever it might be. And as much as I feel like I'd checked a bunch of those boxes, that dissonance that existed between who I believed I'd been put on the planet to be and how I was showing up in a way that might make the world happy was creating something that was the source of this disconnect from my fulfillment. And I began this journey. And it took like being in that state. Some of you might be there right now, where you can't necessarily put your finger on exactly what it is, but you know there's got to be something more. And to me, that feeling, as much as anything, is an invitation for each of us to start doing some of the harder work of understanding some of what we have to do responsibility-wise to change the way that we continue to sit inside of suffering that we've become familiar with. I know for me, as much as there was privilege in the job that I had, I'd become so used to just being okay with being okay, had decided that I could trade off feeling something deeper for the provision that might come from my family, or the status I might have, or the access that might be afforded because of this great job that I had. And then one day I realized, and I'm going to say this in a way that hopefully doesn't sound hyperbolic, but I realized that you're either growing or dying, that you're either taking steps closer to being fulfilled or you're not. And when you realize that you aren't, you have a choice to stay inside of suffering you've become familiar with, or taking some stinking action, making some steps towards what probably is going to be uncomfortable, unconventional, and something that will, because of the discomfort and unconvention, unlock something that you need and have never maybe ever felt. So two things for me in my journey that I had to navigate in order to try and find fulfillment was really trying to zero in on purpose. Why am I here, right? The crux of my unfulfillment began as I was cresting my 40th birthday and started asking these bigger set of existential questions of why I'd been given these gifts, but wasn't in a place to necessarily use them, why I was here, what impact was I supposed to have, how was I hoping to leave a legacy at the end of life, or how was I hoping to model who I hoped my kids might grow into as adults. And secondly, a conversation around integrity. The idea that once you have a handle on why you're here, that you also understand the way that you, on an every single day basis, have to make and keep promises with yourself to create integrity between who you'd have to be today to unlock who you ultimately hope to become tomorrow. Because it's in taking those steps of integrity where I have found fulfillment, or in the inverse, every time there's been dissonance between who I know I'd have to be and how I actually show up on this day, that's where my shame, my lack of confidence, my absence of fulfillment lives and thrives, usually in the dark. And here's where we start, right? So the first thing that I'm going to argue every one of us have to do is really get super comfortable acknowledging where you are right now, right? The pursuit of fulfillment requires that you start with hyper self-awareness. Knowing where you are is the first step in taking a journey towards that North Star of where you want to go, of getting closer to that sense of fulfillment, that connection to purpose. I've said often lately that I really feel like the work that I'm doing in real time is an attempt for me to take the intention that was set by a creator who put me here for a reason and honor every day with my actions the intention of that creator. Doing that, though, required that I first start by understanding where I am, and where, in knowing where I am, I'm not already honoring that intention, where I still have work to do, where I could challenge some of the things I think so that I can take action that, though it will be different and uncomfortable, might unlock some of the things that I'm looking for. So the first question all of us who are interested in fulfillment have to ask is, why don't you have fulfillment yet? Where are the spaces in your life where you are feeling unfulfilled or underfulfilled? The last time Brenda and I were hanging out together, we were having this conversation about the definition of freedom. It's like one of these things, like sometimes you just hear a line and it just sticks with you. And it has been this like echo in my head over and over and over, because I think in so many ways, freedom ends up being a foundational ingredient in fulfillment. And the definition we talked about was that freedom is the ability to be you, to be your true self, to be the person you were created to be, the person that you know you can be, free from two things: free from social comparison and free from self-doubt. Right? So as you're doing an inventory in real time of where you are, I want you to ask the question, how free are you to actually take steps towards pursuing the thing that will unlock the fulfillment you desire so badly? How much are you still affording weight to the worry of or the opinions of other people, to the constructs of society and the way they define the way that we're supposed to be even if it comes at the expense of who you're truly meant to be. And then separately, how are you in belief of self? How are you, in a Mel Robbins-esque kind of way, giving yourself those high fives you deserve? How are you free from the worry of not being enough, of trying to talk your intuition out of the thing it's begging you to pay attention to? Because as you can free yourself from those things, you now start to get a little bit of a permission slip to take the kind of steps that'll allow you to get closer to who you were meant to be, your true self. Free.
Gonna do the two-step, then cowboy boogie. Grab a sweetheart and spin out with him. Do the hold down and get into it. Take it to the left now and dip with it. Don't throw down, take a sip with it. Now lean back, put your hips in it. Let's have some fun. To the left now. To the right. Now take your left hand and put it on your side. Gon' roll your shoulders, do the slip and slide. This next part's my favorite part, cause it's time to shine. Gonna do the two-step, then cowboy boogie. Grab a sweetheart and spin out with him. Do the hold down and get into it. Take it to the left now and dip with it. Gon' throw down, take a sip with it. Now lean back, put your hips in it. It's simple, you can do it. Slide to the left, slide to the right. Now cool down, have a good time. Slide to the left, slide to the right. Do the butterfly, have a good time. Round, round, round and round you go. It's time to show out right now and take to the floor. Gonna do the two-step, then cowboy boogie. Grab a sweetheart and spin out with him. Do the hold down and get into it. Take it to the left now. Don't throw down, take a sip with it. Now lean back, put your hips in it. Take it down now, take it down now. Take it down now, take it down now. Bring it up now, bring it up now. Bring it up now, bring it up now. Take it down and crisscross. Bring it up now, crisscross. Do whatever you like right here. Just have fun. Gonna do the two-step, then cowboy boogie. Grab a sweetheart and spin out with him. Do the hold down and get into it. Take it to the left now and dip with it. Don't throw down, take a sip with it. Now lean back, put your hips in it. That was not so bad. That was not so bad, was it? That was not so bad. That was not so bad, was it? That was not so bad. That was not so bad, was it? That was not so bad. That was not so bad, was it? Gonna do the two-step, then cowboy boogie. Grab a sweetheart and spin out with him. Do the hold down and get into it. Take it to the left now and dip with it. Don't throw down, take a sip with it. Now lean back, put your hips in it. Yeah.
Smuggled it down. Kimmich! Oh! That's what Bayern needed! In the 90th!
Good afternoon, guys. I remember Stephen Covey sharing some amazing wisdom in his book, The 7 Habits of Highly Effective People, and it affected me profoundly when I heard it. And it is this: the way we regard or treat the 1% is going to be the key to how we affect the 99% of people. So what that means is that the 1% of people that may test us the most in terms of our control and our response to things is going to determine how we are regarded and how we treat the rest, the 99%. So the ones that challenge us the most. And we have to ask ourselves again, where is the real challenge? The real challenge is in controlling our minds and how we respond to that 1%. Okay, because everyone is ultimately a one. We're all a one, and we have to remember that. Have a great afternoon, everyone.
Every sale's the same, right? Well, why? Because we take control. We make it the same. We take immediate control of the sale, and you have 4 seconds to do it. That's it. You are being judged in those first 4 seconds. Your prospect lays eyes on you. They see you, they rip you apart, they put you back together, they've judged each piece, and based on that, they say to themselves, either this person is number 1, sharp as a tack. They're sharp on the ball. Number 2, they're enthusiastic. What they have must be good. They seem enthusiastic about it. And number 3, most important of all, an expert in your field.
Hey, it's Evan Carmichael, and I make these videos because I need them, because I want to wake up every single day and get pushed by somebody who's doing a lot more than me. And in watching their videos, it inspires me to be bolder, to have more courage, and to go chase down the life of my dreams. And I hope it does the same for you. So today, let's learn the 7 sales techniques to sell anything. Enjoy.
Number 1, you must be perceived as being sharp as a tack. You're sharp, you're on the ball, you're a born problem solver. Number 2, you're enthusiastic as hell. Enthusiastic as hell, meaning what you have must be good. Now, I'm not talking about that bullshit over the top, oh my God, my things are, that's over the top nonsense enthusiasm. It's not what I mean. I'm talking about something called bottled enthusiasm. It could be a whisper. It's beneath the surface, but it's palpable, it's strong. And lastly, and most important of all, you are an expert in your field. Sharp as a tack, enthusiastic, an expert in your field, meaning that you are someone that knows their shit. You are an expert, and what do we do when we're in the position or in the presence of experts? What do? We defer. We've been trained since we're yay big to defer to experts. When we were very young, our parents took us to the doctor when we were sick, right? And even our own parents would defer. We're like, wow, this is a very special guy. He's been to school. The doctor would ask us questions. We would answer. We don't interrupt them. When we are in presence of experts, we defer. You must be perceived as sharp as a tack, enthusiastic as hell, an expert in your field. If you're not perceived this way, what happens? The prospect tries to take control. When we believe that we're dealing with a novice, someone who's dull, not enthusiastic, we will take control. And what I realized that first night I invented the straight line back in 1988, believe it or not, this is what I realized. I had a certain way of talking, a certain way of acting that commanded authority. People knew they were in the presence of an expert, and because of that, they would defer to me. I was able to take control of the conversation, and once I had control, I could then make every sale decision. I could follow a certain roadmap to closing everyone using the same technique. If the prospect is in control, how could you do that? You can't use any technique because you don't know what's coming next. The first step in what's called the straight line syntax is you must take immediate control of the sale. You must take control, because what's really happening in the mind of the prospect, and it happens in those first 4 seconds, they say, this is a person worth listening to. That's what this chunks up to say. You know what? He's sharp, enthusiastic. She's sharp, enthusiastic, expert. They are worth listening to because he or she can help me achieve my goals. They can help me get what I want. That's why people listen to you. We seek out experts to solve our problems, eliminate our pain. You must be perceived this way. When you are, what happens? they defer. So watch. Number one, you got 4 seconds. You must sound this way. This time you must be perceived. The prospect says, wow, this person's an expert in their field. They're sharp. Wow. I'm going to defer. They probably can help me get what I want. They're experts. I've been taught that it's respectful to defer to an expert. So now that gives you the opportunity to take control. You then take control and you use that to start asking questions. And you ask those questions in a very specific way, using certain tonalities, and you start building massive rapport that way.
Technique number 2 is give value with Grant Cardone.
You've sold billions of dollars in revenue throughout your career.
Yep.
You know, how have you been able to consistently close massive deals? What is Grant Cardone's secret to sales?
80% of everything we do here is free. Now, the 20% that pay me, this year will pay me $150 million. But the 80% got $1 billion worth of advice. They just didn't pay me anything, but they came into my funnel, right? They came into my, okay, now I know who they are. Can I serve them when they're ready to pay something? Not everybody's ready to pay, right? So like when I was a kid, man, I wouldn't pay for anything because I didn't have any money. So if I went, if you walk into a casino in Vegas, you can walk in. You don't have to have money. All you got to do is walk in. Everything's free. So in my world, I'm a big open casino, like everything's free. Now, when you get in, you're like, I'd like to sit at that table with the whales. Well, then that costs something. Or I want to sit over this table with the $100 players, or I want to go over here and play this game. Well, to do that, then you got to sit down and you got to pay. So we've raised $1.1 billion crowdfunding on the internet. I don't go to wealthy people. I don't go to Mark Cuban and say, hey, fund my project. I've never gone to a big equity fund like a Blackstone and say, give me $1 billion. I could, but I don't. I build a big audience. I create great products and offers, and then I go to that audience and say, would you guys like to invest with me? So I think we have 450,000 people in an investor that raised their hand and said, I'm interested in your investments. 13,000 of the 400,000 invested with me. You need to change your mind about closing people. Closing people is when you service them for the first time. You guys need to understand that when you close a deal, when somebody actually buys your product, service, or offer, whatever your offer is, that's when you finally service them. I don't think about the close being, I got you. I don't think about it being that. And I think a lot of salespeople think, oh, I got you. No, I didn't get you, dude. I finally serviced you when I closed you. And by the way, that should be the first close. That should be, of the 154,000 people that bought something from me last year, 45,000 of them have bought 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 things. Like 30% of our, and I want to get the other 70% to make sure that's not the first thing and the only thing they buy from me.
Technique number 3 is build trust with Vusi Tembequeo.
How do you sell anything to anyone? For those of you watching this wondering why you care, because life is sales. You sell yourself to your partner, you sell yourself to your children, you sell yourself at your job, you sell yourself to your boss, you sell yourself to your clients. All of us are constantly selling, especially those of you that think you're not. And there's one way to sell anything to anybody. It's the oldest trick in the book, and it's not a trick. It's a way of living your life. Build trust. How do you build trust? Commit to something, deliver on it, communicate effectively, and make sure that everything you say you're going to do, you do. And if you can't, that you communicate up front. This is an age-old wisdom. It's probably not going to trend this video. You're not going to share it 1,000,000 times with your friends because it sounds common sense. The crazy thing about living in the world in 2023 is the common things are just not so common anymore. You want to stand out, build trust, do the simple things really, really well.
Also, to make sure you're actually taking action after watching this video, I've designed a special free worksheet just for this video. The worksheet will highlight all of the lessons learned in this video, as well as pull out our 3 favorite learnings and quotes that will inspire you to actually do something. The worksheet will also give you space to write down what your key takeaways are and your specific plan of action to make sure you're getting results. If you want the worksheet designed specifically for this video, absolutely for free, there's a link in the description below. Go click on it and start building the momentum in your life and your business. I'll see you there. Technique number 4 is believe in what you're selling with Gary Vee.
Listen, I'm gonna take my horse to the old town road. I'm gonna
ride till I can't no more. I'm gonna take my horse through the old town road. I'm gonna ride till I can't no more.
I got the horses in the back, horse stock is attached. Head is matted black, got the bushes black to match. Riding on a horse, ha, you can whip your Porsche. I've been in the valley, you ain't been up off that porch. Now, can't nobody tell me nothing. You can't tell me nothing. Can't nobody tell me nothing. You can't tell me nothing. Riding on a tractor, lean all in my bladder. Cheated on my baby, you can go and ask her. My life is a movie, but riding them. Cowboy hat from Gucci, Wrangler on my. Can't nobody tell me nothing. You can't tell me nothing. Can't nobody tell me nothing. You can't tell me nothing.
Yeah, I'm gonna take my horse to the old town road. I'm gonna ride till I can't no more. I'm gonna take my horse to the old town road. I'm gonna ride till I can't no more. Hat down, cross town, living like a rock star. Spend a lot of money on my brand new guitar. Baby's got a habit, diamond rings and Fendi sports bras. Riding down Rodeo in my Maserati sports car. Got no stress, I've been through all that. I'm like a Marlboro man, so I keep going back. Wish I could roll on back to that old town road. I wanna ride till I can't no more. I'm gonna take my horse to the old town road. I'm gonna ride till I can't no more. I'm gonna take my horse to the old town road. I'm gonna ride till I can't no more.
Cancelo in towards Haaland! It had to be. It just had to be. Friend or foe, they all come the same to Erling Haaland. He is just an obsessive goal scorer.
Good evening, guys. I want to share with you another funny story from Les Brown, and this is from his speech in the Georgia Dome. He was providing an example where he was so determined and so resilient in trying to get a job as a DJ, a disc jockey, that he would go every day. Every time he got rejected by the gentleman he was trying to get a job from, he would still go back every day. And that gentleman would get frustrated. He would be saying, "What do you want now?" You know, and Les Brown would give reasons and, you know, as to why he was showing up every day. And the funniest reason was, and this was after I don't know how many times of going back and forth, Les Brown said to him, because the guy asked him, said to him, "What do you want now? I told you there's no jobs here." And then he said, "Well, I didn't know if anybody got sick or died, sir." And I thought, that is incredible. I mean, it's funny because obviously we don't want anybody to die, but these things happen in life, and Les Brown was ready to take that chance or that opportunity. Have a great evening, everyone.
I would say fall in love with the work. Like I always say about the NBA. I've had teammates, some guys be like,
I don't watch basketball when I go home because I play too much.
I don't know. I'd be like, listen, you think if somebody work on Wall Street, when they go on vacation, they not checking the stock exchange? If you fall in love with the work aspect of it, then the success and the accolades that come with it. But you got to fall in love with the work. Don't just fall in love with the showers of people telling you how good and great you are at it. Like if you fall in love with the work aspect of it, then everything else, I promise, will fall into place.
Nice, man. Spitting fire. Straight from the mouth of CP3.
Need motivation?
Watch Top 10 with Believe Nation.
Hey, it's Evan Carmichael, and I make these videos because I need them, because I want to wake up every single day and get pushed by somebody who's doing a lot more than me, and in watching their videos, it inspires me to be bolder, to have more courage, and to go chase down the life of my dreams. And I hope it does the same for you. So today, let's learn from one of the best, Chris Paul, and my take on his top 10 rules of success. Enjoy. Rule number 2 is don't care what others think.
How do you differentiate between what the media is building as a narrative versus your narrative? Like, how do you, I find like athletes, that's what makes the athlete's job a million times harder than even playing the game. Because especially now with social media where there's so much chatter, so much conversation. How do you keep your focus around this is reality and that's just
That's
noise?
crazy you said that because I learned something about myself even a few years ago. I can't have that clutter, right? And when I played back in LA, I think I said this in the book too, with the Clippers, Doc Rivers, he used to talk about getting rid of the clutter, right? So when you get home from a game, if your team lose, everybody that's with your family and all that, what they gonna do? If y'all lost the game, what they gonna say?
Yeah. Hope you're okay.
It was everybody else's fault.
Right.
Right? Like if you lose a game and you get home, everybody in your family they're gonna be like, this person wasn't doing that person wasn't doing that. They ain't never gonna say nothing about you, right? And so that's literally clutter, right? And the same thing I learned years ago in the playoffs. Like in the playoffs, you gotta win 4 games out of 7, right? And I don't care what anybody says about social media or whatnot, but if you win a game in the playoffs and you go on the social media and you had a great game and everybody talking about you like you the best thing since pants with pockets, then you might let your guard down, right? And the same thing if you don't have a good game and you go out there and everybody's talking about how sorry you are, you might lose a little bit of confidence. So for me, I try to block out all of that noise. You know what I mean? So that's like when the playoffs start, I don't want to see what ESPN talking about. I don't want to see what Bleacher, I don't want to see what none of them talking about because you got to just stay locked in and stay focused. And as long as you know what's true, you know what I mean? Yeah. People are always going to say something. Always. They're going to try to have some type of narrative or whatnot. But as long as you know what's real, I think that's what can help you keep your sanity.
Rule number 3 is have respect.
What does it take to have those 15 guys really be, I guess, close enough or respectful enough to really win one?
Y'all been on teams and locker rooms and stuff. I think at the end of the day, you got to respect the other person, right? Just respect the other person's craft and what they bring to the table. I've been on some teams that we hang out, we kick it and all that stuff like that, but I've been on some teams where it wasn't like that, right? I'll tell you this, my favorite teammate my whole career is a guy named David West. Right? Me and D West, my wife Jada and his wife Leslie was tight, like always together talking. Me and D West didn't hang out and go to dinner and stuff like that, right? I still talk to D West now, you know what I'm saying? But on the court, we were so locked, right? Because there was a respect factor there and we led in different ways. I was more vocal. D West sort of just led with how he played, but it was a trust factor there. You don't have to be buddy-buddy with everybody, but there's a thing that you don't want to let the man next to you down, right? I think that's the teams that's the most successful. When you so invested, you invested for him, right? Like of course I want to win, dog, but I want to see you win. Yeah. And you can feel that. Y'all know what it's like when you got a team like that, when you look at your teammate and he probably come hit your helmet and be like, let's get it, let's go, you know? And so that's just my opinion.
Rule number 4 is stay consistent.
What is your relationship to failure also? Like missing that shot? Is it a big deal or are you just moving on? Another rep, another rep, another rep.
I was in the gym last night. I was telling you with the kid, Mercy Miller last night. We had to end this drill. We had to end with this drill that I do where you shoot a 3 in this corner, and then you run to the other end of the court, shoot a 3 in this corner, run to this corner, come to this corner, right? So that's 4 shots. Then you go to this wing, 5, that wing, 6, this wing, 7, this wing, 8, top of the key, 9, this top, 10.
Yeah.
Non-stop. So sprint, 10 shots. Got to make 7 out of 10, and we done with the workout for the day. I went, knocked it out, whatnot. Now Mercy got to go.
10 for 10?
I went 8.
8.
I went 8 out of 10. Mercy's turn to go. First time, I think he might have got 5 out of 10. Went again, didn't get it. Went again, didn't get it. Went again, didn't get it. Kept getting the 6 out of 10, and he would have to, because you had to just make seven out of 10. He'd get to the last one, missed it. He might have did this drill 10 times. And my son was there too. And I told Chris, I said, listen, Mercy can work out with me any day, because he didn't complain. He didn't do nothing. This kid's about to be a senior in high school. He didn't complain. He just kept breathing. I kept talking to him like, don't worry about it. Just keep going. And sure enough, after 10, 11 tries, he got it. He got it. And I appreciated that from him. And I told him at the end of our workout, because he was like, man, appreciate you letting me come work out. I said, no, thank you, because you make it fun for me. And that's the fun part about having 12 kids in the NBA, having all of these young kids coming up and training with them and working out with them, because that's the exciting part for me, is to know that when I'm done playing, I'll still be watching and be like, man.
Yeah. Also, to make sure you're actually taking action after watching this video, I've designed a special free worksheet just for this video. The worksheet will highlight all of the lessons learned in this video, as well as pull out our 3 favorite learnings and quotes that will inspire you to actually do something. The worksheet will also give you space to write down what your key takeaways are and your specific plan of action to make sure you're getting results. If you want the worksheet designed specifically for this video, absolutely for free, there's a link in the description below. Go click on it and start building the momentum in your life and your business. I'll see you there. Rule number 5 is learn to balance.
What's the
And back to legs crossed, back straight, eyes closed. Feeling the power of you regaining control of your breathing. No matter how fast your breathing became, your heart started pumping faster, started automatically going faster. Right now, we get to take control of our breathing. To keep our back straight, our eyes closed and our legs crossed. The same way, we get to take control of our thoughts, our mind, at any time, which will then control our bodies and our feelings directly. That's how powerful you are. But you have to believe 100% in this power, this infinitely intelligent being within you and all of us. You got to believe with all your heart and soul that you can do something. If you don't believe in yourself, nothing else or nobody else will. We're all looking to you. We're all looking to each other to find out the truth of what is already in us. We hold the key, each and every one of us. It all starts with our power to believe 100% in who we really are. That's the greatest determination you can make. 100% believing in you, no matter what, no matter how many mistakes, how many so-called failures, losses, pain, suffering you've experienced. You get to learn from all of it. You get to realize the truth that there is no such thing as failure. There is only fuel from our mistakes and our losses, which gets transformed, gets used to create our determination.